Hi everyone, it's Inky Fingered Cat. I'm doing another of my Advent card making cards today, and it's time for the main man. It's time for Santa. I just decided I wanted to play with paint for this one. There was no rhyme or reason to it. I just decided I really fancy playing with paint, so I got out a couple of different colours of paint. One was paper artsy, sorry, two were paper artsy, and the red was an Americana paint. And I did some brayering in the background just to get a background colour down or a few layers down, and then I used that Paper Mania word stamp with the blueberry paint to just add some texture. So now it's time for my centre. So I've used these, I can't remember what, the Stampography stamps, and I actually stamped him a couple of times, but I ended up just using the one because I made a bit of a mess of the second stamping. And then I've started painting him in. So I'm using the same colours of paint at this point for both the red and for his sack, although his sack does end up getting blended because I didn't wash out my brush properly. And the same for his boots. So they're both, boots and the sack are in blueberry, and then red for his outfit. Then because I didn't have my full set paints out, I just decided to do a little bit of watercolouring, which would then add in the other colours. So the best way of doing that for me was to grab my watercolour pencils and to create myself a little palette on a piece of scrap card and use the water brush to pick that up. Apologies, I seem to have edited quite a bit of that out. Now it's fussy cutting time. So I started with a and just decided to go with a loose fussy cut, so it wasn't a full fussy cut, and just do a nice border around him so that he stands out and pops against that background. Now you'll probably know I've trimmed down the background, and now I've decided that I actually want to do a slightly bigger background, but using this beautiful star die that I adore. Firstly, it creates these amazing stars, which are clearly, I'm hoarding them now and will start using them again on some other project. But it also creates a lovely panel in itself. So here we go. I am just trimming it down a little bit again so we can see a little bit more of that star background. Then I realised that what we actually need is a panel that's going to show those stars off. So I'm going to take that blueberry paint again, and I'm just literally braying around the edges. I'm not so bothered about the middle because I know it's going to get covered up. So now it's just time to layer them up. But I do decide it needs a little bit more definition on the edge, so I take the watering can ink, and then I'm just dotting a bits of glue around and making sure that the edge is glued. And then I think I'm going to end up, oh I didn't, I thought I'd put an acrylic block on it to dry it, to make sure it was flat whilst it was drying. This is the point where I put the acrylic block on. So now on my Santa I'm adding some Wink of Stella, and just doing a little touch more on the watercolour, because I realised I'd completely forgotten to watercolour his nose, so he had a completely white nose, not a peach coloured nose. I've chosen one of the Tim Holtz chipboard sentiments because it's nice and chunky and it goes with that mixed media background really well. Now I'm adding some fluff to his beard and his bobble on his hat using the Fun Flock that I bought. Again, just a bit of glue and adding it down. So just to finish off, I'm now sticking it to a card blank. Use plenty of glue because it's quite thick with all the layers there. But yeah, just to finish off, I'm going to take a few of those stars that I've die cut out and add them to the main panel. And I love that there's different sizes of the stars, and it's not all the same size. So I take a couple of the smaller ones as well as 3 of the medium-sized ones. Add a little bit of Wink of Stella over the top so that they sparkle beautifully. And then I think I'm done. So here's the finished card. It looks really nice and bright and cheery in the daylight. I'm particularly happy with the Fun Flock on his beard and his bubble. Gives it a lovely texture. Hope you enjoyed. Please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe.